started, even though I waited 20 some odd minutes for it because I don't have a driver's license, right? And that's cool, you know what I'm saying? I could get a driver's license. It's just I don't own a car. I don't want to own a car, and I really don't want to drive a company car. You know what I'm saying? But it's something that I have to get. Can't get that though until I get some money rolling in, right? So there's that. You know what I'm saying? I'm behind on my debt reconsolidation. I'm behind on my student loans. I'm behind on my cell phone and so much more. You know what I'm saying? And I've been done set up 3 interviews today, had 2 interviews today, you know. And the one woman, you know what I'm saying, she wanted to say I'm lying. So what I do, I sent her the you know what I'm saying, the screenshot of the phone call. You know what I'm saying? I sent her the screenshot of the, you know what I'm saying, interview confirmation and all that. And I'm still just lying. Like, I didn't ask for the situation I was put in. I didn't ask to, you know what I'm saying, have cerebral palsy. I didn't ask to be, you know what I'm saying, taken advantage of. I didn't ask for none of it. But that's my situation. So, with that being my situation, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to sit here and not do something about it, or am I going to get off my ass and do something about it? You know what I mean? Because that's all I can do. So, because that's all I can do, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not just going to sit around and, you know what I'm saying, continue to do nothing. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. You know, I'm fired up as it is. I know I'm going to get a job. The question is, do I get a job before I lose everything I own, or don't I? That's the biggest question. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I got interviews lined up. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get one of these jobs. And when I do, you know what I'm saying, things are going to turn around. Most of my problems in this life have been financial. Most of my problems, you know what I'm saying, are money. Money only solves money problems. That is what I have noticed in the X amount of time. Hello, how are you doing today? That is what I've noticed in this life thus far in the 30 plus years that I have lived life. You know what I'm saying? But people want to sit here and tell me that I'm lying about this, I'm lying about that. What I got to lie for, you know what I'm saying? I don't lie to people in my life. I damn sure don't lie to y'all. You know what I'm saying? For the viewers that watch and, you know what I'm saying, comment, this, that, the other, likes, subscribe. Appreciate that. I kind of feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Person being single, you know what I mean? It's nothing. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna continue to put the work in like I do every day. You know what I'm saying? Hey, these lives and these shorts and these, you know what I'm saying, videos I put up on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, they're live and uncut. Nice to meet you too. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'm just sitting here talking about the interviews that I have lined up and, you know what I'm saying, the interviews that get canceled on me because I don't have a driver's license. I know how to drive, you know what I'm saying? I've had cars, you know what I mean? I just don't have a license, so I can't drive a company car. Not that I want to drive a company car, because you know what I'm saying, I don't want a horrible driving record, but it's okay. You know, I'm gonna get there, even if I gotta go borrow the money from somebody that I know. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go get a driver's license. I don't want a driver's license, but it opens doors. You know, and in the state that I currently live in, I can't just go off and get the licenses by myself. You know what I'm saying? I have to be recommended for these, or I have to, you know what I'm saying, already have industry experience, or I have to be sponsored. And it's just, it's a hassle to, you know what I'm saying, be in the career that I'm in. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. This is the career that I chose. You know what I'm saying? This is what I want to do with my life. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm not about to give up, even though it's been 8 months, 9 months. You know what I'm saying? The guard card that I got to renew, I'm gonna do that. You know, it's gonna cost me $100 I don't have, but where there's a will, there's a way. So I'm gonna find it, you know what I'm saying, and I'm gonna get on. You know what I'm saying? I have 2 interviews Monday morning. You know what I'm saying? I have an in-person interview at a security company, and then I have, you know what I'm saying, a virtual in-person after that. So, you know what I'm saying, I'm not giving up. I know I'm gonna get something, and when I get back on, you know what I'm saying, shit's gonna come back to me tenfold. So hello. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? So I just gotta, go through this hard times and put forth the effort like I did. Like I said, my friend sat here and told me I'm lying, but I sent you screenshots of interview confirmation. What do I have any reason to lie to anybody for? I don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting in the work because that's what I know, and that's what I know I have to do. And there's people that depend on me and count on me, even if I'm not working, even if I don't have a job and income coming in. So I literally have to put that work in. I have to be the best that I can be. Just because if I don't, I lose it. And I'm not ready to lose. You know what I'm saying? I've been taking losses my entire life. But you know what? I've taken a lot of W's in this life too. You know what I'm saying? I own a $250,000 home that I don't live in because my parents live in that home. You know what I mean? I own cars that I don't drive because my parents drive them. You know, I just don't want to live in the state of California. Otherwise, I would go home and I live in the house that I own. But I don't like that state, so I don't live there. And I don't like this one either. But for now, I'm stuck here. Excuse me. The people that I choose to be friends with or try and start relationships with, you know what I mean? They're here and they don't want to leave because they have lives. And so it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I can't force you to move. I can't force you to put yourself on the line the same way that I do. You know, I just can't do it. And I won't do it because I know what I'm worth. My brother sat here and said to me the other day, why don't you take a minimum wage job? And I'm like, I can and I do, but I know what I'm worth. You know what I'm saying? I just spent $40,000 on a degree to get knowledge, not because I wanted to spend $40,000 to get the knowledge. I did it because I wanted to get the degree for myself, so I had the knowledge and I could do something more and better, and I could make more money. I'm always trying to be a knowledge seeker, a professional, or whatever it is that I do. And I try to be the best that I can, not just for myself, but for others. You know what I'm saying? All you guys that watch and tune in, I hope, you actually sit here and you take heed to what I'm saying and it benefits you, which is the whole reason why I do this YouTube thing. It's not for me, it's for you guys. You know what I'm saying? The audience that chooses to watch and listen and understand from my perspective the way things are going. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, you guys put chats in the, you know what I'm saying, in the chats and comments and this and that. I respond to everything because my channel is small. And once it gets bigger, I'll have people set as moderators and this and that, and they can answer on my behalf, or I'll still continue to answer comments. It is what it is. I'm not mad. Let's see, what is it? Don't got anybody in here yet, that's cool. You guys pop in, you pop out. I'm not worried, I just try to do the best I can. You know, there's people that watch me and, comment on my pages and post, oh, you're doing the wrong thing. You don't have a good mindset. You don't this, you don't that. And then there's those people that, hey, you got your head screwed on right. You're doing the right things. You're being the best you can be given your situation. I just look at it from all perspectives. And that's where a lot of people get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? They choose to believe that I have this negative attitude and I don't care. And that's not what it is. You know what I mean? I genuinely care about other people more than I care about myself. I've genuinely put other people before myself because I never learned how to be. selfish. Never learned that. Don't want to learn that. I'm not a selfish person. I'm very selfless. And I like being that way because you understand what goes around comes around. And you put good karma out there in the world, you get good karma. And that's what I like. So that's what I choose to put out. Start a poll, start a Q&A, we could do that. Ask a question. We could do an AMA for sure, you know. I'm not gonna get mad about it, you know. That's not the situation that I want to be in, but you know, I'm gonna just be the best I can be, just because that's all I can do. So I'm not mad. You know, people have asked me what my situation is, and I've told a handful of people, I've told the world. I'm not too worried about it because I know, you know what I'm saying, everybody goes through trials and tribulations. And when I was taking business management classes, one of the first things I learned was, you know what I'm saying, how to interact with people and customer service and marketing and all of these things. And what I learned in marketing is that not only does it take work, but it also got me to understand that trends are never up and they're never down. You know what I mean? So, you know, I can't be mad. Yeah, I know the credit cards are past due and this and that because I was only able to pay one of them based on the amount of money that I had. You know what I'm saying? You can report it to the credit bureaus or you can leave it where it's at and I'll just take care of it when I take care of it and it is what it is. I'm not trying to skimp out on these people. I'm not trying to, you know, not give them their money, but you're unemployed. How do you pay for something if you don't have the money currently? That's why I'm behind on my student loans. That's why I'm behind on the credit cards. That's why I'm behind on everything else. Because, hey, I had savings and I had, you know, 20 grand worth of savings. And then, poof, if I lost my job, I had to use that 20 grand. I had to use my taxes. I had to use borrowing from other people. I've had to do all of that. And I'm not mad. It's gotten me to where I'm at. You know, I know I'm going to get to where I want to be. And I also know it takes work. So, you know what I'm saying? I cannot be mad. I just have to continue to keep putting in work. And that's what it is. So, you know what I'm saying? That's what we're going to do. We're going to continue to put in work. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not even that. All I know is good, bad, or ugly. That's what it is. Hard work does pay off. You know what I'm saying? Nice guys, they do finish last. But you know what? It is what it is. I seen something on Facebook that I had took a screenshot of. I ended up posting it or putting it in the description in this video or whatever the case may be. Yeah, the same emotional dudes, they get ignored. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of sad, right? Because, like I said to the one person that I started with, you know what I'm saying? And she said I was lying about having interviews because I had to go to the restroom. Like, okay, cool. I was on the phone with you. I had to go to the restroom. I told you, hey, I'll call you back. I'm getting a job call. You know, saying prospective employer. So I hung up the phone with her and then she called me a liar. I'm like, okay, cool. But here's the phone number. You know, here's the confirmation. Here's the this. Here's that. You know what I mean? I'm not lying to anybody. I got no reason to lie. I got no reason to not tell it like it is. And I've been saying that for decades. You know what I'm saying? I tell it like it is. Like I said, all these videos, all these, you know what I'm saying, shorts, they're all raw and uncut. You know what I'm saying? There is no editing on my channel for nothing. Just because that's how I choose to operate. That's how I, you know what I'm saying, get through it. You know what I'm saying? My life is raw and uncut. Like, and if you guys want to take the journey, great. I'm here to rock it. You know what I mean? I got nothing wrong with nobody. You know what I mean? It's nothing. So literally, you know what I'm saying, just shared this on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Just because, you know what I'm saying, whether people jump in that video, whether people don't, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm just getting frustration, and, you know what I'm saying, because I really don't like at will employment. You know what I'm saying? You can terminate your employment as an employee of whatever company you work for, can terminate your employment also, you know, for whatever reasons they choose, as long as they're not discriminatory. But, you know, in the last 2 weeks, I was discriminated against in a job interview. The lady asked me why I don't cut my hair. You know what I'm saying? Religious reasons. And I had to report that to the company that she worked for. Hopefully she got references, you know. Maybe she didn't. But I know I had to do my due diligence because that's all I know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to sit here and lie and be taken advantage of and let somebody just run me over when I know right from wrong, and I know what my worth is. And, you know, Tacoma's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Seattle is crazy. Western Washington, for that matter, is crazy. I don't like it anymore, but there's reasons I stay here. You know what I'm saying? I know people here, I've lived here, but I don't want to be here. You know what I'm saying? I'm really thinking about, you know, just stacking money and then just moving somewhere that I don't have, you know what I'm saying, any knowledge of anybody. You know what I mean? Just because I can't deal with it. But then again, my family is here, and I'm like, hey, I definitely want to be there for them. You know what I'm saying? I just had got on Facebook this afternoon, and noticed that one of my friends is leaving on Tuesday. He's like, this weekend we should hang out. And I'm like, I'd love to, but I don't have the money to hang out right now. So, you know what I'm saying, I was waiting on his text message or whatever, and we'll see what happens. I'm definitely not mad. I'd like to see him. If not, you know, it'll be, you know what I'm saying, FaceTimes and, you know, YouTube and all this. I ain't worried about it. Buttoning them. So that's why it popped in and it popped out. But, you know, I'm just trying to keep my mind off of how these job interviews go and put my mind on something else. Because the couple people that I was thinking about, you know what I'm saying, they're super busy. They don't want to talk. And so I'm just, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? I had, like I said yesterday, sat with my friends' stuff. And I sat there as long as I could. I hope they got their stuff back. You know, he, one of them got my sunglasses, so I'm gonna try and get those back. If not, then I gotta, you know, go get another pair of those. Which is nothing, you know. I'm just the best person I can be, even if you think I'm not, you know. And that's how it is. That's how it's gonna go. That's just how things happen. Because I have no reason to lie. I have no reason to, you know, you know, say no to anything. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to, you know. And it's funny because the reason why these companies they actually choose, you know what I'm saying, provide the driver's license is because they want you to ride company cars or they want you to drive your own car. I don't want to drive a company car working for a security company. I don't want to drive my own car working for a security company. And it's not that I can't drive. It's simply because I don't like other people. You know what I'm saying? I know what I want to do on the road. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know what everybody else is going to do. And because of that, I choose to drive locally or I choose not to drive at all and use other means of transportation. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's my preference. I don't avoid driving. I'm saying if I had my own car again, I'd definitely be driving. I definitely wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in right now if I had my own car and a driver's license. And I'm supposed to try and get that by the end of the year, November. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna try. You know what I'm saying? If I get a job and things actually work out in my favor, that's exactly what's gonna happen. If it doesn't, then that's not what happens. You know, my licenses that I do have, they expire, and it just is what it is. So we'll see what happens. You know, I'm just trying to get it all together and, you know what I'm saying, do for myself and do for others. You know what I'm saying? Whether that be my friends, my family, you know, I just have to keep putting in the work. And sometimes it gets hard. Sometimes it gets raw and bare. And I'm like, why do I keep doing this? But ups and downs is part of life. Nothing is all the way up and nothing is all the way down, no matter what it is. And, hey, look at Warren Buffett, billionaire. You know what I'm saying? How many losses has he taken? How many gains has he gotten? You know, because hey, this sector is down, but that sector is up. So hopefully the money balances out and manages to, you know, stay steady or slowly rises quickly, doesn't fall quickly, you know? You know what I'm saying? I heard something about him saying he was going to step down at the end of the year, which is real sad because I invest in that company too. You know what I'm saying? That's a good deal. Talking about living in the same house, drive the same car, you know. I wish it was that simple, and for some of us it is, and for others it is not. So I'm not mad about nothing. I'm just trying to do the best that I can do. I'm gonna go ahead and end this right here. And thank you guys very much for tuning in, for subscribing, for commenting. I appreciate it. Hmm. Hmm. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm literally going to